Hello everyone. So today we're going to use the magic tennis balls. I'm going to offer you some tools that you can use whenever you need to release some tense muscles and some tightness. That is the best physical therapy that you can find for $1 or whatever they cost. So I'll show you a few different things that are my favorites, and you can also do your own exploring. But what we'll start with is we'll put the tennis balls next to each other. You can also put them inside of a sock and knot the sock so that you have them together. You can tape them together, if you want to keep two tennis balls together. But if these are your only two tennis balls, I don't recommend taping them together because you're going to need them separate as well. But we're going to start with putting these right along the spine, on either side of the spine, around the shoulder blades. Okay, so just kind of find, a lot of it is personal preference, some of it's personal preference, like where you want it, but basically in the thoracic area between your shoulder blades, along your spine, where the erector spinae, those little muscles along your spine are, and find, I like it right kind of in the upper part of my shoulder blade, but not completely at the top. So somewhere along there. And just find that spot and then wrap your arms around you. Hug yourself like this. Okay? And just breathe. So to start with, you want to relax your body into the balls and just breathe. That might even be enough for you right there. Right? And just take some deep breaths. If you want to move the balls a bit, just tilt your pelvis, right? So if you tilt your pelvis, go into a little pelvic tilt here, right? Tilt it down and up. The balls will move a little bit up and down your spine, and that is always nice, just to add a little movement. You can also lie your arms over your head on the floor, a little different experience. And, if you want to move the balls, just do a pelvic tilt. At least that's how I like to make the balls move, because then I'm also, tilting my pelvis and relaxing my low back. And so you're kind of accomplishing two things at once. Okay? And just breathe. This might be painful if you've never done it or you don't do it very often. You just have to let yourself relax as best as you can and breathe into it, right? And you can pick up your hips and move the balls up and down if that isn't too much for you. Kind of move them up and down a little bit. That's another option. But you basically want to go up and down the sides of your spine, right around the shoulder blade area. So it's not a huge area. Good. And then after you've done that for a few minutes, we'll take the balls out from there, and now we're going to separate them apart to put them under the trapezius, right? So this muscle here. And that, again, is sort of a matter of preference, but you do want the balls in the muscle. I like to place the balls just above my shoulder blades in the muscle. So it's almost like at the very top ridge of the shoulder blade, right there. Right? And you can always adjust it. But if you want to put your hands behind your head to start with, I'll show you what you can do here is simply curl up and back over the balls, right? So inhale and exhale. Right, so you're relaxing onto the balls, and then you're kind of pressing into them as you lift up. Doing ab curls on the balls. Another thing you can do is reach to the ceiling, palms facing. You can lift and reach your arms and then let them drop. Reach and drop. Right? So you open up your back and then drop into the balls. And you can also steer, like you're steering a car, right? Like you have a steering wheel and one arm goes on the top and then the other on the bottom. And if you pick up your hips and steer, right, add a little pressure into the ball that way. If that's not too much for you, lift your hips up. Otherwise, put your hips down. And then we'll come center, lower down. And then let's let our right arm go by our side. Left arm go out from your shoulder at a diagonal. And pick up your hips if you're able to. If that's not too much for you, take your arm across to your opposite hip and back. Right. And go slowly and breathe. Yeah, this is a good one. You're really getting into the muscles here. And then we'll bring that arm down, lower the hips, take your right arm out from your shoulder at a diagonal, lift the hips, and then bring that arm across the body to the opposite hip and back. I really needed this one right here on this side. Ah, yes, I really needed this. This is just the best. I mean, oh yeah. Shoulder release with the tennis balls. And then go ahead and lower your hips down. So that's a few things you can do with the tennis balls under your shoulders and back. And then another thing I really love is for the neck. So you're going to have the tennis balls completely together, and you're going to put them right at the base of your skull, right by the occiput there. And you're going to press into the balls, press the balls into themselves, and then press the balls into your head at the same time and lift your hips. So you're keeping pressure on the balls with your hands, and then simply take your head side to side, slowly. And as you take your head side to side, you're going to slowly let the balls slide down your neck. Right, so you're sort of massaging down the neck until you get to like the nape of the neck, right, where you're at the end of that muscle and where you can feel it because you have a curvature. Right? So suddenly you won't feel it as much, and that's about, oh, but right there is good. Okay. And just keep pressing into the balls, and also having your chin tucked down, right? Having the chin tucked down a little bit will really make it a extra special experience. And then when you come all the way down the neck, you can relax your hips down and take the balls out. And doesn't that feel amazing? And then we're going to take the tennis balls and place them under our glutes. So the belly of the muscle, right under there. Now you have to be careful because if you do have any sciatica or any issues like that, this might not be for you, okay? But just be aware of your body and just rest yourself on the balls here. And you can move them around, right? You can just kind of roll them around a little bit, just kind of move your hips around. You can also open your knees apart like that. And you can roll the balls around, move them around. You can open and close your knees like that. Also, another way to move the muscles. And another thing you can do that's more intense, so be careful if this is too much for you, is just lift one leg and then put it down. Do a little march. So obviously this is putting extra pressure on the ball. So, like I said, be very careful and aware of your own body here. Yeah. And sometimes you just want to just relax and breathe, especially if you're really tight. You don't even need to move, right? Just relax and breathe. Another thing you can do is let one leg open to the side, right? So you're kind of getting into that joint area, closer to the joint, and then slowly slide your leg up and down, right? Like that. That's another option. more on toward the outside of the glutes. And then the other side, opening that knee and sliding it slowly up and down the mat, like that. Yeah, that's a good one. Good. And then coming back to the top, we'll take our tennis balls out from under us. Like I said, I just want you to have tools, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on each thing, but you'll be able to refer to it when you need it. Another thing we can do is this muscle can get tight, especially if you hunch over a computer or something. You can press the ball into this area here, like that. You can also lie down on it for more pressure. So if you place the ball here and lie on your belly, like that, and then have your arms straight out from your shoulder and look the other direction. Like that. And that just, you can just breathe there with the ball there, let your weight, press into it. And you might explore with your arms as well, if you want, for that one. And another thing you can do is massage your hands and your feet, right? So if you want to place your hand on the tennis ball and move, kind of press into it, move it up and down from the one finger down to the heel of the hand, thumb. Just go up and down each finger, and then back to the heel like that. Kind of stretches your fingers if you kind of press up and lift like that too. You can kind of give yourself a little hand stretch if you lift, and then roll back and forth. So we can just go back and forth, up and down from the heel, one finger, and then back and down. Yeah. Each finger. And you can also, you can roll it around. Yeah, just massage the hand. Good. And then, of course, we can do the feet, which most people know about. I personally will stand up and do that. I personally prefer the pinky ball. It's like or a racket ball, something like that that's a little harder. Or you can also use a golf ball, right? Especially if you have plantar fasciitis, you want a harder ball. So the tennis ball is not that hard, but if that's what you have, then I know this isn't going to work on my mat, so I'm going to put it on the carpet. My mat just crumples up. But just put one foot on your tennis ball and then roll it around. I'm going to adjust my screen a little bit. There we go. And just start with rolling it around, pressing into the ball, kind of waking up your foot and getting your foot used to it. And then we'll roll from the heel, right? So you take the ball to the heel and go the inside edge of your foot up to the big toe joint and press into the ball as you move the ball up and down from the heel to the big toe joint a few times, and then go to the next toe. Right? So go to the second toe, up and down the foot a few times, putting as much pressure as you can handle. And then the next toe, up and down. You can go slowly, whatever, especially in the morning. If you're doing it in the morning, you might want to go slowly. Or if your ball is hard, if you're a really hard ball, you'll want to go slower, right? And then after you've done all your foot, the whole thing, put it under the metatarsal arch, so right kind of in the middle upper part of your foot with your heel down and your legs straight. Curl your toes over the ball and just lean into it. Just press into it. And then release and do the other foot. So again, you can start with going around in a circle maybe just to kind of get your foot woken up, and then take it down to the heel, up the inside edge of the foot to the big toe, joint and back down. This is how I like to do it. It's just a simple kind of basic way to roll out your foot, right? You're going up and down the foot, pressing into the ball. You'll notice that your fingers might also be active when you do this, like mine are, because the meridians, start and end in our fingers and our feet, right? So when you activate your feet like this, you're not only getting to all the internal organs of your body, you're also stimulating all the meridians. So it's a really simple way to accomplish a lot. And it's so good because we have 33 joints or so in our feet, each foot, right? And go ahead and place the ball in the middle upper part of your foot, pressing with your leg straight, your heel down, curl your toes and press into it. So we have 33 joints or so in our feet, and we stuff them into shoes, walk on hard surfaces, and our feet don't get a chance to move properly. So that is the really key reason, I think, to roll out your feet on a regular basis, because there's a huge connection between the health of your feet and the rest of your body that a lot of people are just now starting to become aware of. We never really thought about wearing shoes and walking on hard surfaces, how that can affect our body, but it does. So anyway, that is what I have to show you for my favorite things to do with the tennis balls. And like I said, you can, find your own things to do. Another thing is juggling, of course. This is a right brain, left brain connection exercise, right? So you can help your brain by juggling. We do this a lot in class. And yeah, so thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time. Take care.